Controversial topic back in the spotlight during the first week of school. We're talking about House Bill 514. Now, if you don't remember, the General Assembly giving final approval over the summer to the bill, which allows 4 towns to break away from CMS.
So Huntersville, Matthews, Mint Hill, and Cornelius can now open their own charter schools. NBC Charlotte's Ariel Placencia joins us live. And Ariel, the CMS board got together last night and voted on a resolution on this matter, right?
That's right, Rachel, and I've got a copy of it right here. This is the Municipal Concerns Act of 2018, and basically everybody voted in favor except for one person. And last night's decision, as in most cases, it all comes down to money.
I think we have to be wise stewards of our tax dollars.
We have limited dollars. As a school system, we do not have the ability, as towns do, to levy taxes.
The CMS Board of Education deciding last night that they will not give funding to 4 towns that won the right to create and operate their own charter schools.
That is if and only if the towns do not declare a moratorium, basically, on building charter schools.
We can't invest in areas where they have the opportunity to build schools at will.
The towns of Huntersville, Matthews, Mint Hill, and Cornelius can still get the funding if they promise not to build their own charter schools. This all stems from House Bill 514, legislation that was approved over the summer by the General Assembly. The bill basically allowing Huntersville, Matthews, Mint Hill, and Cornelius to break away from CMS, open their own charter schools, and give their own students priority admission.
The possibility does exist that we put significant capital dollars in a school, and then right next door or a quarter mile down the road or close by, something else comes out of the ground.
So we'll just have to wait and see which towns and how many will promise not to open their own charter schools, basically so that they can continue to get funding from CMS. Ben and Rachel, this is certainly a storyline that we're going to continue to follow throughout the entire school year.
We know you're going to keep an eye on it, Ariel. Thank you.